Welcome to the next episode, which would be the 7th episode of the Made in Dreams podcast. I'm your host, Mighty Vicious, here with Jammy James the Infinite,
Hello.
as well as MagmaMonsta, aka Magma Daddy. How you doing today, my guy?
Hello. I'm happy to be here. It's something new, first podcast, but I'm hyped.
All right.
Good.
Well, you know,
Glad to have you.
don't you get nervous on us now. We're going hard. Today we're going hard.
Okay.
that's why I named this episode The Fire Rises, because we got a lot to talk about as a Dreams
We
community.
do.
And we'll get to that. First, let's do this man some proper respect and let him run with it. Tell us about yourself, Magma.
So yeah, I'm from Austria. I'm a dreamer, a streamer, and a creator, I would say. In real life, I'm a graphic designer outside of streams and outside of dreams. And yeah, I do whatever I want. I like to create. And that makes me happy. So my life is actually centered about creating, and yeah.
Okay, so what you're saying is you're a boss. Nobody tells you what to do. And when
No.
you get on Dreams, you're here to take it all over.
Yeah, so in the creative area, I do whatever I want. I should rephrase that.
Oh, I thought you was just saying you do whatever you want. You throw it on the table if you want to. All right. Well, I mean, what is your background as far as, like you said, you do graphic design for a living? Like, is it something you went to school for, or did you just maximize these skills under a waterfall, under the pressures of Mother Earth? Like,
no, I actually went to school for that, so I'm a real graphic designer.
A real
A real
I
one,
don't
not one of these
I-
fake ones you see around.
I don't know if you're okay. That's me.
Oh no.
What I'm saying. No, I actually learned it in school, but now I'm working as a graphic designer, and because first I wasn't sure if you can do something that's creative and make a living out of it. I didn't know that you can be a graphic designer when I was younger, that you can create stuff and earn money through that. But then I realized it, and now I'm a graphic designer.
Indeed.
It's like,
indeed.
I actually can make money from this.
Yeah. And then I came across dreams, and I think it's the best thing that could have happened to me. Because my mind works like this, I'm always thinking about creating and doing creative stuff. I'm always building worlds and creating stuff in my mind. It's crazy.
Yeah, I
Well,
can get you on that.
It certainly shows in your work that you have like a professionalism to creation. I mean, everything has that MagmaMonsta like style to it, if that makes sense. Like everything that you create, you can see that it was created by you. You have a very stylized approach to your visuals in dreams, and yeah, it's just really, really on point to what you are.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and that's actually where I would like to start, and if you don't mind, just where did you get your style from? Like, I see shades of, like, with certain paintings and stuff you've done, I see shades of Borderlands, but mostly I see this like DJ street art skateboarding type feel to your art. And like, is there a backstory to that, or is it just,
Yeah, so I like to do what I like the most in design, in art, and in life, and I like, I got inspired by that over my lifetime. I'm a huge fan of cartoon shows, and you can see that in my art as well. And also street art is a huge thing I look up to, and I get really inspired by artists like that. So
awesome. Well, you said you do it for a living. Are you freelance, or do you, like, when we don't see you and the mask comes down, are you working for like like a big Jet Set Radio, or as Led just said, Jet Set Magma? Like, yeah, that's I definitely feel that. I feel that. But I guess has there been a journey before Dreams, like through your professional career, or was it just like, I do this, oh, this tool is coming out, let me see what this is about?
So so basically, in school we just learned the basics about things, about programs we used, and I really like to learn new stuff, to learn new creative programs, creative tools, and that's a huge part. And yeah, then after my school time, I worked at this agency. I can't tell here on stream, but yeah, and here I'm still. So yeah, I'm working for an agency, not as a freelancer.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you don't have to give us specifics. I'm not trying to break down your whole life.
Where do you work, Magma? We want the deets. What's the name of the company? What's the address?
So, you had mentioned that you were in the beta, or at least I believe you were in the beta.
Yeah, I have been here since the beginning. I actually also I've played Little Big Planet, so I know this company for quite a long time, Media Molecule. So I've been through all their products, through all their games, and yeah, I've been in the beta and early access as well. Yeah.
Do you miss anything about the beta?
Like in what case?
Like, for instance, like like speaking with a ton of people who were in the beta and seeing how close knit this community is, it seems like if you had an even closer knit community, it would be like the best. Like, how would I put this? Because I don't want to make it sound like a leg up. Like you got something we didn't get. No, it's not that. It's like, okay. Was it amazing to just be part of that smaller yet still just as passionate community? Like, to make the connections and to maybe like learn through other people as well. I have no idea how the beta went. Like,
yeah, so the beta was quite different actually for me. I was more on my own actually in the beta, so I didn't connect too much with other creators. I was basically in the beta. I was basically learning the tools, so I was just learning, not creating really. So I think I only have released one thing in the beta. No, two or three things. And Yeti. I mean, that was the best thing I made from the beta. That was my first character. I made a Yeti, I made eyeballs and a tree. My first sculpt was a tree. So the basic stuff.
Mm-hmm. Was that the tree? The tree. Oh, what was it called? I'm trying to remember.
Wobbly
yeah,
tree.
The wobbly tree. Because I really liked the actually what's on screen now for people watching, which is the little gallery you made showing your drawings. Like, I really liked that, and then I saw the wobbly tree. I was like, you can see the progression throughout these images.
I mean, those paintings here are my first paintings I made in Dreams. You can see the progress here as well. So the dino in the corner was my first painting I've ever made in Dreams, and yeah, so for me it was always kind of like learning new stuff back then, and not realizing my dreams.
All right.
Yeah. So now, oh, sorry, no, go on.
No.
I was just going to say to go off of that. Now that you have learnt the tools, I mean, is there anything that you're inspiring to create now that you have all the, all the knowledge you need within Dreams? I mean, obviously there's always more knowledge to learn, but you seem to have got to a very comfortable point where you can pretty much create whatever you want. Is there anything that you have yet to create that you want to?
Yeah, so I actually, the one thing I'm not that familiar with is logic in Dreams. So I still need to learn that. I mean, I know a few things about logic, but yeah, still not that familiar. but I'm, I like the art part more about dreams, like creating sculpts, creating scenes and environments. So that's more my jam. And I have actually quite a lot of projects I'm working on, but it's lack of time.
It sounds like they're behind closed doors.
I mean, we can talk about some of them. I don't know.
Yeah. The 800 pixel gorilla said, "What projects? Do tell."
To tell.
We need
One of the projects is actually with Pixel Gorilla and Yovark and Dribble. We are working on a platformer, I would say.
Okay.
And yeah, there's actually a twist on it. So it's not just a simple platformer like Super Mario. There will be a twist actually, and it's in a medieval style, basically. But I don't know if I can talk more about this.
Yeah, I was about to say, don't get taken out. Give away all the secrets. But so, I mean, he kind of took what my next question was, because I was just wondering, is there something else? Like, have you been growing? And we ask this of everybody, because I'm just so excited for what is to come in the dreams community if we don't all kill each other. And so yeah, like, is there a solo project? Is there like a secret thing that I'm not saying you have to give us the deets on it now, but just to stoke the flames, get people interested who aren't already. Is there something that you're working on that you're just not telling anybody about?
I have a secret thing, but I can't talk about that because it's for a video, and it's actually, so my plan this year is to pull in more dreamers into the dreams community, because I want this game to succeed. That's actually one of my goals this year. To give back to Media Molecule in some way by bringing them more players, I guess. But yeah, there's this project I'm working on, but I can't talk about this. But I also have some other projects, like one is a game I'm working on. It's called Your Favorite Game. And the concept of it is that it's actually not your favorite game. So it tries to be your favorite game in some way. So the game is trying to show you stuff you might like, and you have to fight against that, I guess. Or you don't have to fight against that, but you will probably.
Indeed. Well, that sounds interesting.
What's your favorite game?
Yes, your favorite game. I like that.
Interesting.
So 800, Pixel Gorilla said that you can say whatever. So if there's more information on that project, feel free to share.
Okay. Let's talk about it. So it's basically a jump and run game like Mario, but it's in that it's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons, like in that style, and it looks like medieval. It will be a medieval game with a twist at the end, maybe. I don't know. I won't tell too much about the story yet.
Oh yeah.
So, something like that, where you can collect power-ups, and it's the thing is, we want to make a game that feels great to play. So that's the biggest goal we have for this game. So gameplay should be first and should be the main part of it.
So just clean, just super clean.
Yeah, and the controls should be on point, and we're working really hard on it. Actually, Yovork is working really hard on it, and because he's doing the logic behind the game. And yeah, we will see where it goes. Yeah.
All right. Well, let me see here. So, Jamie, I've been kind of bogarting.
Oh.
Did you have something else you would like to bring up?
Yeah, I would love to bring up Plastic Dreamers. What an amazing thing that turned that out. I mean, what gave you the inspiration to do that, and did you expect it to sort of blow up the way that it has on the Dreamiverse?
No, actually, no, I didn't expect that. The thing is, I am a huge fan of those art toys. They're called art toys, or I mean, some companies are like Funko Pop or Super Plastic, or those companies. They call them art toys. I mean, Funko Pop doesn't call them art toys, but Super Plastic does. And there are actually a lot of creators out there, a lot of artists who customize them, because they also have blank versions of them, and I got inspired by that. I thought, why shouldn't we build that into Dreams and see what other creators would do with it, you know?
Yeah.
So I thought about my unique base puppet, basically. And I wasn't really happy with it, so I saved it on my PlayStation, and I haven't released it for almost a year. So I'm sitting on the Plastic Dreamer thing for a year almost. So
wow.
And I mean, I thought, who cares? Why shouldn't I just release it? And here we are.
It was just such a delight to see, you know, this community really take that and go to town with it. You know, every creator that I can think of, you know, has made one. We had Spicy Waffles, who's in chat, who was on our team, make a Dino version for us, and you know, everybody just got involved. And like MC Alchemist said in chat, you know, it is literally the best case for 3D printing yet. You know, if we can push Media Molecule to give us 3D printing, I can't think of a better excuse than, you know, the Plastic Dreamers to become a reality.
That would be super cool. Yeah, imagine you have such a little figure on your shelf.
I would be broke, because I would have to buy a 3D printer, and then I would have to print every single one of them, and then I would have to figure out how to make the boxes for all of them. I would run out of money, but it would be worth it, because my wall would just be plastered with them, and it would look amazing.
I mean, you could try printing the box as well.
But you see, yep, again, all my money's gone already, but I would love it. It would be totally worth it.
See, I have a friend in that industry that does make the I mean, they still call them toys, but it's like art here, art figurines. Yeah. I have a friend who basically does that, and he's like, I don't want to get into Dreams until that becomes a possibility, because he works better. Like, basically, he works with his hands, but he's super interested in developing his art. But he doesn't want to put time into developing it with Dreams if he's not going to get that option. But he's been wanting to take things that I've shown him and, you know, try to make toys out of them. And he's just like, I can't do it unless they make it so that I can export like what I make, because that's his business. So
yeah, the thing is, the thing with Dreams is they try to keep everything super simple so everyone can use it. And that could be a problem in some points, like printing stuff, you know, because you can't really make this option that easy to use, I think, because there are so many different 3D printers out there. And I mean, I can imagine it won't be that easy. So I mean,
it's not just the 3D printers. I mean, it's the complexity of some of these sculpts. You know, some 3D printers wouldn't be able to handle the intricacies of some sculpts. So I can definitely see it being a really complicated thing to release to the public, to be able to do that. But
that just means you got to get your game up. That just means you got to put a little more dough. You got to put a little more dough into that printer, but no.
Look, I would even be happy if Media Molecule said, look, it's possible, but you've got to buy our own specific 3D printer for it. That's fine. That's
fine. That would be an option.
That's fine. Just whatever you put out, we're going to buy it. So just get on with it.
Yeah. Huh. I mean, that would be so cool. And also other export options would be great, like high resolution pictures, or 3D models. Actually, that would be also nice to have.
Yeah, I think it would just be awesome. But then again, as I pointed out last week, there's tons of things I would love for them to do, but I think we can never lose sight of the fact that, even though they may be looking into it, we got to be happy with what Dreams is.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
like, because what it is still amazing. And I would love for them to be able to implement the new Unreal character creator.
The Epic.
The Epic.
Yeah.
I would love them to be able to integrate that. However, come on, let's be realistic.
I think one eyeball out of that new Epic human generator thing would just put the thermo at 100%. It's mental.
Bro, first of all, what you just put in chat, where you said the Media Molecule 3D printer in a nice pink. Yo, if I was them, I would completely do that.
Would be so cool.
I would make it pink just to be like, how much do you love us?
Yeah. Are you willing to have a pink 3D printer? The answer is
I would
yes.
buy everything from them, actually.
Yes. I mean, they're just sitting on a gold mine right now. I mean, imp plushies, plastic dreamers. There's so many things that they could do. I think they are working on it, but
and I think Media Molecule is one of the game companies that's so close to their community. Actually, they are actually all like we are. They are also creatives who want to create cool stuff, and that makes them so cool and so good. They don't do that for money. They're here to give us the best tools to help us creatives out here, and that's just insane.
Yeah. I do want to ask, like, just from a creative standpoint, like, what's something that you feel like people need to hear in Dreams, as far as because I've said it already, but the most incredible part of your art style to me is that you were able to transition it to Dreams, something that I'm still trying to do. And so, like, I guess what helped you grasp Dreams? Like, did you have a eureka moment where it was just like, okay, now I know how to do this? Or was it just, I'm a boss and it works for me right out of the box,
No, I mean, it was, at the beginning, it was also hard for me to learn the sculpting and the stuff. And I'm still learning. I still don't know anything about the game yet, I would say. There's so much potential still. And it's, driving point for me was my mind, my imagination, what I want to create. And I'm always aiming towards that. And I actually started making collections because I thought it's easier to do sculpts first, different sculpts. So you have small projects you can work on, and not an entire game, because you will work on the game forever, and then you may get unhappy and you will lose interest in the game. So I decided to make collections, because that's also what the community needed at the beginning when nothing was there. That's how I came up with those, actually. Because back in the beta, there was no object in the Dreamiverse. There was nothing. We had to create our Dreamiverse. And that's why I actually started making the assets. And it also helped me to learn the tools to have small projects I can work on, small assets, and finish them, and get better and better, and
All right. Well, so as it remains, the answer seems to always be just time. Just put time into it. Just nonstop time. But I do like what you said about the starting small.
Small steps.
Yeah, small steps. Learn as you go, and that's so hard for me. It really is. It's so hard, because like, I mean, like I explained how like my love is film. Well, one of the most like I would think, I don't want to call him that. One of the people that gets a lot of hate from the audience is Kevin Costner, because when he started doing a lot of his own films back in the 90s, like he had, which at the time was extravagant, like $300 million films. And it's like no matter what he worked on, it was just expansive. Like he just had, like, everything he did, he wanted to create this whole world in which like his story was told. And you know, a lot of that got him, he bought a lot of blowback for those budgets. But like that, I feel like that would be kind of where I get stuck sometimes in dreams, is that like I got into dreams because I was like, I am doing this. And I just zeroed in on doing this one thing. And I did it, and I learned a lot by it. But at the same Pixel Gorilla Pixel Gorilla goes, Kevin Costner, Field of Dreams. Coincidence? hey, I mean, I feel it. So like, yeah, and so like I keep hearing it, but it's so hard for me to do. Like, I mean, as I already told you, I don't have much time to work on anything really, except for at this point, like Dino. And when I get on, I pretty much have to work on Dino. Whereas, but like at the same time, right behind that is other stuff that I'm also just like got to do it. And each of them is like a saga. Like, it's so like it's really hard for me to just zero down and be like, you know what? I'm gonna make a jar today.
I mean, but that's what, for me, it's kind of relaxing, because I'm, you know, I really like the part of creating itself the most, I would say. I don't like the final result that much that I like to create it, if that makes sense.
That's a really healthy mindset.
Because in the end, I'm, to be honest, I'm not happy with anything I do.
Yeah, that's why I say it's healthy.
So I learned to like the process more, actually. And it can be something relaxing as well. If you paint a painting in dreams with certain shapes, and it can be relaxing.
Once again, not relaxing. I'm on the other side of the spectrum.
No. You don't have to. You need to think like that. There is no mistake, you know.
Oh, trust me. If you've saw the stuff I've tried to create in dreams, you would know that the word mistake is the only thing that is relevant. It's the only thing.
See,
the whole thing's a mistake.
See, I understand this. I understand where you're coming from, but it's like, for me, like I've talked about it on here quite a few times. Like, I like your style. Your style seems to transition perfectly into dreams, whereas like I've straight up just like, I can't, like, one line. Like, all I have to do is make one line, and I'm immediately unhappy because that line is not the line I wanted. That line is not what I'm willing to accept, and that's I mean, literally, that's how it is. Like, I just can't. I can't move past it. It's like I need everything to be as I see it, or I'm gonna have a problem. And so you said you're a perfectionist. Well, bruh, you ain't as bad as me.
but I think that makes dreams great if it's not that perfect. You know, if there are dreams like with the normal puppet without any modifications or anything, I like that. I like bad dreams, and you know, some would call them bad dreams, but I like the whole thing about dreams. Like, if something is not great, that's also showing the person behind it in some way. And I think that's the great part.
Not only is your creation not great, but you are great, sir.
I didn't mean it like that.
I know what you mean. But that was still funny. I just want you to know I don't care about you. That's oh man, that's okay. I get that you didn't mean it like that, but that was awesome. Because while you were saying, I was like, oh my god, he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it.
But no, subpar, and that really makes you subpar too.
No, so, I agree. I agree if you like with you as far as, you know, the imperfections, that's where beauty is found. However, like, I don't know, like something, it's like I like just going on and just being like, you know, like like a kid with an open ketchup packet, like running through a restaurant. Like I love doing that. But at the same time, when
you should.
Like, but
do it in dreams.
Yeah, see, but that's the thing. I can do that, but first of all, you'll never see it. Yeah, you'll never see it. I don't want any part of that out there to represent me. No, I'm just playing. It's just, but I also want to have the other thing too. And I think it really comes down to like the painting aspect versus like illustration. That's why I'm always blown away by like what you do and what Ledbetter does, like, you know, among countless others. You know, many of them are in this chat right now and they're all masters in my mind, but like, yeah, it's just like I feel like I could do that other thing, but I want to do that thing though. I want to like, with the limited time I have, I'd like to do this one. Like, you know, if you like, if you're in business, you get paid off to do this one thing that you don't really care about. Like you don't care about it, but you do it, you get the money for it, you take that money and then you create what you want from it. Well, that's kind of how I see it. It's like I want to, like, I'll do this other thing, but I want to be able to do the other stuff I care about too. And right now I can't do that stuff, which is purely and mostly a shortcoming on my part. There's like, I've seen people do some crazy things, okay? I just don't know how yet, but I will. And I'm drinking milk, okay? And one day I'm going to be strong and a good artist.
But if you try your best and you try your best to do stuff here in dreams, it will still amaze people. I mean, you might not be happy because the line is not that perfect as you would like the line to be. But it's still something great, and you should share it with others because that's why we're here, you know. Sharing is all, I think. And so,
well, we'll get back to that topic. We'll get back to it because I feel like I feel like every time I get to this topic, I learn to think about it a little differently, and ultimately that helps me to speak with people who are basically, you know,
great
people. Yeah, they're great. They're people I look up to in the community. And so, yeah, don't worry. I may sound like I'm just being like, no, but see what you don't get. I may sound like that, but I'm listening and I'm taking it all in. And it's going to be me, my hurt feet, and that thought in that bed after this podcast, continuing my healing process. So it's going to sit with me because I have nothing else to think about. I'm lying. I have everything to think about. Anyway, point is, I'm still going to be thinking about it. So I guess, Jamie, do you have anything else? Because I kind of want to get to this. I want to get to well, no, I have one more question for Magma.
Okay.
But do you have others?
I have one question. It's not dreams related, but your setup is amazing. And how have you got your logo on the wall? Is that an actual like, projection? Like how is it working? I've got to know.
Okay, the question is kind of dreams related because the room behind me is made in dreams. I'm not sitting in a high-end room like this. I'm actually sitting in a garage. Just kidding.
Okay. So you're superimposing it on the camera.
so yeah, everything here is made in dreams except me, I guess.
Okay, well that explains it. Okay, very well done. You definitely fooled me. I thought that was real.
it's a green screen and that's it.
That's awesome.
I'm ashamed of you right now, Jerry.
I thought it was real. I thought, whoa, this guy's got his logo on the wall.
That would be insane, though. If 3D printing is out, I will definitely do that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I will print my whole house.
Forgive me for my Will, you continue with your actual question.
No, I want to spend a little more time on this. But just a question for you, Jamie. Where did you think that door was going to?
I don't know. I didn't notice that. I just couldn't look past
the Dreamyverse. Actually,
I was just looking at the wall and I was like, "That's so cool! Like it's such a great idea." And I was like, "Oh, I wonder how he did that."
Yeah, Coney is in the other room.
Oh, now that would be crazy if you did have her walk into the room.
Yeah, I mean it would be possible, but I haven't set it up yet. So maybe in the future, maybe someone comes in.
Like that stuff because I mean you and Piece of Craft, who's been working on a lot of his alerts being based in dreams, like the ones that come up while he's streaming, like they look fantastic. So shout out to Pac. But yeah, like I'd love to see what you end up doing with that. Oh no. I think something's starting in the chat against you, Jamie. I think they're conspiring. But so before we go on to super serial topics, what's the origin of your name?
Oh my God. It's should I actually tell the real story?
Yes. We tell truths around.
I've actually never talked about my name and about my name MagmaMonsta. But let's do it.
All right,
let's reveal it here.
Let's get the origin story.
So it's actually super lame. Now I hyped it up like that, but it's actually lame. So I came up. So okay, let me think. Okay. So the idea was to have a YouTube channel. I used to animate stuff when I was younger, and I wanted to be a YouTube animator guy. And I had a similar name. It was also monster related. So I came up with the logo back then, actually. And then I thought, this name, I can tell you the name. It was called Film Monster. Because I was doing films and I like monsters. And yeah, so this name was weird because it was taken on YouTube and I wrote the L with an I, with a capital I. So it's harder to find. So I had to redo my name and I came up with Magma because it starts with an M and then it ends with an A. And Monster does also end with an A. I mean, in my universe. And that's it. That's the lame story behind it.
In my universe. See, but you said the key word in that origin story. You said film. And so, so what were you working on, my guy?
I was doing animations. I was doing animations.
Can we still find this YouTube?
I hope not.
Oh no!
Oh man!
I'm doing a search right now.
Yeah, if you've known him for a long time, just throw it out here so we can see the origins. Okay.
I mean, it's German, I guess. My main language is German, so my native language. So it's the videos must be in German there, but I can't find it by myself. I don't know. Maybe I deleted it.
Hey, people in chat, never forget this, and at least message him once a week on Twitter until he finds this this old YouTube, or just recreates it. Remember, that's the second request. You have to hit him up every week to remind him to find it. And you also have to hit up Freaky Dream so you can explain to him how easy it is to make multiplayer. Those are the two requests that we've made in this show. So, well, I don't think it was a lame origin. It makes sense to me. So
yeah, I mean, it's yeah.
So, guys, and this next topic, which we all agreed to go in on here, I understand that a lot of people may not agree with what we're going to be saying, but I hope you understand where we're coming from. And so, yeah, let's go ahead and get it started, because the question was that in my mind was, why do you dream? And it's because I woke on Tuesday. Like I told y'all, I've been injured and bedridden for about the last 2 weeks now. I basically get up to do my podcast shows, and then I'm directly back in bed. So, like, I woke on Tuesday, and I saw some pretty disheartening stuff coming out of people on Twitter. Just regarding the impies, and that's started tons of different conversations, but it got, look, I'm nobody's daddy. Okay. I don't got the payments or the money, but things got ugly. The discourse was really ugly, and it just, I feel it's necessary to have like real discourse about the future of dreams, which is why we talk about it so much. But I felt like this was the first time that we really hit a point of like growing pains in the community. And I just wanted to bring it up and see how everyone that witnessed what was going on Twitter, like what do y'all think? And I guess we'll start, if you don't mind, Jamie. I'd like to start with Magma and see.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
So I think it was actually a little hard to see those messages on Twitter, how everyone is just against each other, and it's. I think that's, how should I say that? I think the impies should never, for example, the impies was a huge topic back on Twitter. It should never be the cause to have something against each other. It's just a award show, in my opinion. It's for having fun. It's not the end goal of everything. You shouldn't think like that. You shouldn't think, oh my God, they are more known. They got the impies because, for example, Calt is a big streamer. He got a lot of impies because of that. I think you shouldn't think like that. Impies is just another community event where we can come together having fun. I wasn't even nominated. And I'm happy for every single winner who well deserved their impies. Actually, they did a great job, and I know there are more people out there who do a great job. But I think we should. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying.
Well, what I've heard or what I'm seeing in chat is people are like, well, you shouldn't gauge it on what you saw on Twitter. And normally I agree with y'all. Like, normally Twitter, it's part of the internet. And for the most part, the internet is a cesspool. And just to put it simple. But I'm going to tell y'all, like, when I started Dreams, I deleted I made a brand new account. And,
really?
And everything that I do is only focused to Dreams. I don't follow anybody but like maybe I think like 4 friends of mine, and everyone else is dreamers. Like it's completely sectioned off. So like that's my happy account. That's the account I go to when I just want to see cool people creating cool stuff and people that I want to talk to and I want to get to know their process and everything. It's just a genuinely happy place for me. And normally I would say, yeah, you can't gauge the internet or you can't gauge a conversation or a discourse by Twitter. But people were getting really personal. Like, I don't know if y'all didn't see any of these things, but people were right out attacking people.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't feel good.
I mean, I even saw people, and I'm obviously not going to mention no names.
No.
It's not what we're about, but I even saw people tweet like, I never won an Impy, and I am so upset about it because my creation deserved to win one. And I'm like, dude, you don't deserve anything with that type of attitude. Like, why are you even creating just to win an Impy? You're doing it wrong. Like, you should be creating because it's fun and it's what you want to do and you're a creative person. Like, if you're doing all of this work just to win like this little plastic award, I think it's plastic. I've never won one, so I wouldn't know.
It's pure gold.
It's pure gold. Okay.
Pixel might know.
No wonder people are trying to get hold of them. No, but still, like, if you're doing all this work just to get this tiny little award, you're doing it wrong. And a lot of people came out of the woodwork and shown what they was really about, and it was so disappointing to see because, again, my Twitter, the Lucid Nebula account is just dreams. So, I mean, I find Twitter is a really good place for communicating with dreamers. At least in my experience, it's the most active place for people that's on dreams. I've tried the Facebook groups. They're pretty good, but again, they're not as active as the Twitter accounts. Twitter is where everyone posts all their updates for their games and stuff, so I love it. I live on it. And, to see all this negativity come out and lots of arguments about, oh, well, the Impy shouldn't even exist because only the people that are known are going to win and it's a popularity contest. It was such a sad sight to see. I mean, the way I look at the Impys is it's a celebration of dreams. And like, they're just, that's why they did it on their first birthday. It's a celebration. It's like, we made this cool thing. We've really, communitized with our community. So we're going to put on a show and give some awards to some people. And, if everybody won an award, if every dreamer got an award for their dreams, then it would no longer be special. And that's the thing. It's to show off the special dreams that have been created. And every dream is special in its own right. But let's get real. There is some dreams that are outstanding, and it's those dreams that deserve these awards. And to be salty about it is, it's just, I ain't got time for you. This community is too pure. It's too precious. And if you are sat there having a sulk like a baby because you never won an award, then, I no longer have time for you. Simple as that.
I think it has something to do how people see the creative thing about dreams. Like, everyone is doing, or a lot, and not everyone, I don't want to say everyone, but a lot of those who want to get an Impy are doing projects because they want to get the Impy and not because they like to do the project. They want to succeed. They won't do the project without that goal in the end.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's nice to have the motivation of winning the award to help you push through the creational process because
but you should see it as a cherry on top and not as the actual goal.
Exactly. It's nice to use it as motivation, but not to be your whole determination.
Yeah.
And the fact that people are actually, using the Impys as their end game, it's just sad. It's just really, really sad. I don't see what you gain from it apart from a couple more followers, a bit of clout. Like, I don't see what the big deal is. Don't get me wrong. If we won an Impy for Dina when we release it, I'd feel massively honored, and
I would be sad. And it would mean, just kidding. Because I want the Impy.
Just kidding. You don't get the Impy, I get the Impy.
No, like, it would be cool and everything, and it'd be really nice, but it wouldn't be like, oh, we're Impy winners now, so like, you roll out the red carpet for us, and we don't follow people no more. Our account has 0 followers, and everyone follows us because we're official. Like, it's just ew. Just no.
I see. Originally, like what I honestly wanted to bring this up if we had had time and if I wasn't completely, out of commission. I wanted to turn this into another roundtable on this topic because there were a few things that I saw, and there were people who had some good points on multiple conversations that spawned from this. One of them, I will say by name, but not what was said, was War Garble. I did see him say some things that I was just like, that's an interesting take. I wish that was the topic we were all discussing, but yeah, it's but one of those things that came out of the conversation was like, and why this segment, as I said at the beginning, was why do you dream? It's because people have started to state what basically people have started to state what dreams is for. And like, how you like what you can use it for, how you're supposed to use it. And that seems anti-dreams to me. Like, I feel like, Magma, come in. You sound like you want to say something. I mean, go ahead. If you want to, jump in.
I think so. Okay. So the thing is, I think the biggest problem of all of this is we should. Okay, I lost what I wanted to say. Okay, continue. Maybe I will get back to it. Sorry.
No, but it was just, and that was one of the things I felt was weird was, trying to limit dreams in that way. It seemed really strange to me. But then again, that people were, I got to understand where people were coming from when they were setting these limitations. Because, like, let's get it straight. I feel like if you bought a copy of Dreams, you get to use it however you see fit within TOS. Within TOS. We got to,
or you don't release it.
Yeah, legally we got to say that. But, for better or worse, like conversations about monetization and, and the payments and what that will bring into the community and whether or not that's good or bad. Those are all good conversations. Like, they're conversations that I feel like need to be had. Because I think we are, at the end of the day, we are the future of dreams. Like, it's the fact that people feel inspired, like, like Magma, he goes and he's like, yo, we should make toys. Like, let's try to do this. Or, we should try to turn this into an art form. Or, people who
it's already an art form. I wouldn't say it's not.
Well, yeah, I agree with you on that. But it's more so just like, you were like, let's try to do this. And it's awesome. And other people... Go ahead.
Yeah. So the thing is, a lot of people are looking at dreams and they see it as a competition. And I think that's the biggest problem. It's the biggest problem is everyone tries to be better than someone else and tries to make the bigger thing, the bigger dream, the next movie, the next blockbuster, the next AAA game, whatever. But that's the wrong thing about dreams, or that's the wrong thing how you shouldn't think about dreams. That's actually also why I'm focusing more on stuff that's remixable. I try to make everything I do remixable, except scenes. So now it doesn't work anymore. I guess you can't copy dreams 1-to-1. So because I want to get them to create new stuff with my things. That's why I make everything remixable. And that's the thing with the Plastic Dreamers. It brings the community closer together if we remix stuff, if we collaborate on stuff. I think the remixing culture is one of the most important things about Dreams, I think, to get the community closer together.
Yeah. And I mean, some people will come in search of fame. That's just going to happen. Some people will want Dreams to remain pure and a tool for artistic appreciation and development, and these are all the growing pains. It's why I enjoy having conversations. but ultimately we will shape what Dreams becomes. And but I can guarantee you none of us are going to like what it becomes if those tones continue that I was talking about before. Like, I mean, I don't want to call any group of people out, but I mean, do we have any Star Wars fans here? Do we have any Star Wars fans? If we do, you know what I'm getting at. Like, like
I'm saying nothing.
Hey, I know Star Wars. I know some people are a little unhappy to go into Star Wars, but I mean, I personally think that if the people don't watch out, their the Star Wars fan base is going to lead to the ruin of Star Wars, and that's what I see happening with this, because all it takes is one journalist to basically come up with the hot headline and talk to the wrong people about what the conversations and the attacks that started because of the impies. And I mean, MM will have no choice but to just take it away from us. Like,
I don't think so. I don't think so. We just have to show other dreamers that that's not the way to go. That, you know, positivity is always key. We should just try to strive for positivity and for that, and we should inspire others to do so. And I think agree. That's the thing we have to do. And if there's still something like that, you know, it's what it is. You can only do so much. And I also back to that thing you said before with fame. I think you can also get fame with being nice, with collaborating with others, and with remixing stuff from others. You know, it's not like you just don't have to see it as a competition. That's all. And in art or in game design or in those things, it's not about being the best. I mean, in some way, you know, what is good? What is bad? Is it just because everyone finds something great that it's great? Or, you know, what does it actually mean to...
You see, I think it's inevitable to move away from that, because, you know, the industry as a whole, you know, whether that be, you know, games, music, film, animation, it's all a competitive market when you take it down to the basics. And whatever platform you're on, you know, Dreams included, the competitiveness of that is going to come with it, because it's just part of what the industry is. You know, everybody obviously wants to be better.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. But you can I mean, you can only do so much. You can only think for yourself. You can only do what you want to do. So that's how I think about it. I mean, you can actually, you could think like that as well if you want. So you don't have to be the best. My goal is not to be the best in Dreams. And my goal is also not to win an Impy. My goal is to having fun with friends and with other creators and collab with them and find some new work, new art, and great work. And for me, great work. I also like, you know, simple stuff. For me, it doesn't have to be a finished AAA game in Dreams. I also having fun with small projects, with small dreams.
And that's how it should be. You know, that, I mean, that to me is what Dreams is. You know, it's just somewhere to have fun, socialize with great people, and, you know, just make stuff that makes you happy. That's what Dreams to me should be. You know, if you're creating a project that you absolutely hate doing, just for the simple fact that you think you're going to get, you know, this massive fandom from it, then, you know, you're doing it wrong. You know, that's not what you should be here for. If that's what you want to do.
But I think that's in general in life wrong.
Yeah, it's wrong in general. But I mean, if that's what you're trying to do, you know, if you're trying to, you know, create something to get this massive fandom from it and, you know, gain all this popularity, then take it somewhere else, because, you know, you're not going to get it from Dreams. You know, people aren't interested in that.
I don't want to ban people from Dreams if they think like that. They still can stay here. I don't, you know, it doesn't have to be like, no, you're not allowed to be here in this community. just because you like memes or other stuff. You know, it shouldn't be like that. Everyone is welcome.
Yeah, and I mean, I just feel like there's a baseline for every side of this conversation, and even for the ones that I disagree with, there's a baseline, and you know it. Like I said, guys, everything comes back to film for me. That's just how my brain works. Like, possibly the greatest female actress of all time, Meryl Streep. She has been nominated over 400 times. She's won, I think, like 170 times out of that 400. And so for the people who are sitting around talking about, like, you know, like Skinny Chad just asked me what was too far? Like, what made you go that was too far? It's honestly when people were bashing people. Like, that's just, like, you can think that you should have won. I think it's unhealthy to think that, but you can think that you should have won. But you can't win all the time. All you can do is just focus on, as Magma put it, always be the best you in dreams. That's all that matters. And you know, just like streamers, like, people start streaming because they're like, oh, I want to be the next ninja, or God forbid, whatever that happens there. You know, people, that's just depressing talking about it to ninja. Me. But like, people are just like, I want to. Yeah, people are like, I want to be that. I want to be big, and I'm like, well, then you're gonna have a really rough road streaming, because that's not how it works. That's not how anything works. It's like you stream because you enjoy doing it, and if you look past that, I mean, you can always have goals, but if your goal is to be like the best, then you got a long depression riddled journey ahead of you. And that's the same way I feel about the Impies and Dreams. Like, you know, we are going to get to the show because the show was amazing. Oh, and I want to end on a positive note when we get there, but we will talk about the show because it was fantastic.
It was so good. It was actually pretty good. Yeah, I mean, you said it. It's, you know, we should always try to be the best version of ourselves, and in general, not like just in dreams. And it's because if everyone tries to be the best version of himself, you know, it's Oh, Celt is only in for the MPs. I just read.
Well, like I said to him, it seems to be working.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Celt.
Oh God.
Keld has spoken. That's all. Keld has spoken.
That's
it. But
so that's actually why I watched the show, because to be honest, I don't get me wrong or anything, I don't care at all about the Impies. I don't, you know, it's nice for those who care, and I think it's great that Media Molecule is doing that. I think award shows are great, in my opinion, to watch, and it's quite entertaining, but I really admire and I really like the shows they pull off each year. The work they put in, it's insane. And I think that's what my favorite part is of it.
It just shows how much, to me, it shows how much they love their community, to put so much effort and so much work into it. It's like this, the whole thing was just like, this is for you. Like, you know, we love what you've done with the product that we've created, and we want to give back to that. So here's an amazing show that's put hours of work into, and you could tell that, you know, so much thought went into it, you know, with Tom and Abby, with, you know, the back and forth with the dialogue that was set, you know, with all the characters coming in, and like Pip Walker, that was so cute with that scene where Pip Walker came in, you know, just so much effort and thought went into the whole process of how it was done. And I especially like that they got other people involved this year for doing the for picking who was going to win. Like, you know, they got different people from the industry, involved, and it was just
That's cool.
it's just a love letter to the community,
Yeah.
you know, and that's the way that people should look at it. It's not about, you know, oh, we're as Media Molecule, you know, like we're giving out awards to the finest people in Dreams, and only if you reach a certain level would you win an MP. You know, it's not about that. It's just a nice show for nice people, nice community, you know, nice everything.
It's like a gathering each year of all the dreamers.
I'm excited. I'm just excited to see what they're going to do next year, because it seems that they're topping themselves every time they do it. You know, it's getting bigger and better every year. I'd love for one day for it to be a physical thing, you know, where we all go.
Maybe
you know, we all
3D printed the stage and everything.
See, yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I agree with that for Dreams.
Like a physical show?
Yeah. Like, I mean, now if they had a booth at E3 or at, you know, Gamescom or just something, if they had something like that and people were just, you know, the community was like, hey, we're all going to meet up and go to the booth and, you know, meet everybody. Yeah, that feels cool. But I feel like the MPs, now I feel like the MP Awards have to be as they are now. Like, I feel like doing it any other way is in itself kind of
contradicting of itself.
Yeah. If you get what I'm saying with that. But, you know, I wouldn't be mad if they did it. But I would just, it just feels like it is what it should be.
Yeah, it's like, you know, the MPs are made in Dreams.
Yeah, it shows the Dreams itself the best, actually. It shows what you can do with Dreams. It should be in Dreams, actually. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But, you know, also, if anybody, you know, if Media Molecule wants to be like, yeah, we're going to do it physical this year, and we're going to fly you out, I'll be like, okay.
I think we all would be like that.
Okay. I'll do it.
I think, you know, they definitely would have been doing something, you know, face to face, like, you know, when we had that conversation with Abby on the episode 1 of season 2, you know, they want to, you know, do community meetups and things, and I think that's great. It really shows, you know, how much they want to be involved with their community, because they know the community is everything to Dreams. Without them, you know, Dreams wouldn't work. And I think I think that's amazing, and I love that they want to do that. Obviously, right now with the circumstances, not possible. But I think I agree with Will. I think they should still, though, even when they have the opportunity to do something IRL, I still think the MPs should be made in Dreams. I think you're right with that.
Especially if we're gonna have some of these butt hurts running around here. Like, real talk.
I think it should also stay in Dreams, because I don't want it to be like the next Minecon or something.
Oh no!
It shouldn't be a cringe fest. No. I think, or maybe it should. Maybe that would be fun.
Oh no!
And Jamie just wants it because he's like, yeah, I live an hour and a half away. I'll go. I'll go to Media Molecule.
Listen,
I'll put my pinky up with some tea while I go.
I'm not gonna lie. As soon as their office is open, I'm just gonna drive by one day and knock on the door and see if they let me in.
Oh, pay attention to the news. They're gonna capture Jamie trying to break into the back offices.
Local fan, like, you know, taken away from trying to break into buildings.
I am Dreams.
I'm finally here. I made it.
Oh God. Man, please don't do that. Don't make me have to host this. Don't make me have to host this at like a show and be like, yo, Jamie couldn't be here. They got him. They got him. I tried to stop him.
Great episode topic though, right?
I mean, I'll talk about anything, but
just running. Where's John? I need to see these trains. Where are you?
Oh God.
What do you think? Can I ask a question?
Oh, feel free.
What do you think would be the Dreamscom like this year? Because Cal wrote something about Dreamscom, and I'm curious.
I don't know.
I just want to see it because I was not part of the community last time. So
oh no!
So I kind of didn't really get to enjoy that myself. So I've been waiting for everything to come around. I think I watched something on it, but not it. But
because they did the stream where obviously they did all the announcements, you know, all the trailers for all the different stuff coming out, and then you had the In Dreams experience with all the booths and stuff. So, I mean, you can at least rewatch, you know, the video of it.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. I'm just saying, you know, it'll be interesting.
You want to be there, yeah.
I want to be there. I want them to be like, you know, doing what they did for the Impies, but live. And then I'll just like make a character with like my fat ass head, and I'm just gonna be like running in front of the camera, be like, hey guys, I made it this year. I made it.
I made it. I'm here. I finally entered the Dreamverse.
As Wargarble put it, MM smells nice. Hey guys, how's it going? I'm here, bro. My character's gonna have like the crazy eyes. It's gonna be great. But anyway, I
think it's going to be bigger this year, though. I think we'll probably see a lot more trailers for games that are sort of people have been developing in hiding. Should I say, like, you know, just things that people haven't announced or been public about. I think a lot of people are probably waiting for Dreamscom, you know, before they announce stuff, because it's difficult to announce a game and then, you know, people wanting to play it, and obviously, you know, people are still learning how to develop, and, you know, the worst thing you can do is say, oh, I'm making this game, it'll be out in 3 months, and then 3 months later, no, it's going to be another year because I haven't figured out how to do the logic. So I think a lot of people are probably waiting for that, and I think we're going to see some amazing stuff. I really do. I've been saying it for a while. I think this year is the year of dreams. I think
so too. Totally.
You know, I think people are still working on projects that they've been working on since the beta or early access, and we're finally going to get all of this content, and it's just going to be so delicious.
Yeah, I can smell it.
I have another question. Now I am asking the question. Sorry for that.
But, hey, we love it. We love it.
But what? Why do you think is the Dreams community still so small, and why is the recognition still so less?
If you don't mind,
that's a big topic. But Mighty, please go.
I personally believe it's because while Sony backs Dreams and Media Molecule, and they do believe in what they're doing, I think that their marketing for everything the last 2 years has sucked horribly, even for PlayStation 5.
Okay.
Like, they just have not been putting, and this was before the pandemic, but definitely while the pandemic, which is a little bit more, you know, it's a little more acceptable, but like their whole rollout for just about everything has been lackluster. And I think it hurt Dreams in the beginning, because they're dedicated to it, they have a lot of time to make up for it. So, yeah.
My 2 cents. Dreams is something that's very difficult to market.
I disagree completely already. I don't want to hear that anymore.
All right, okay, but yeah, it is though. I mean, it can do everything. Not. It is. It can do everything. It's a music tool. It's a film tool. It's a game tool. It's an art tool. It's a creative tool. It does everything, and I think it's difficult to try and focus on one particular audience. You know, do you focus on the gamers? Do you focus on the musicians? Do you focus on the filmmakers? Do you focus on the artists? There's a lot of different things that Dreams can do, and from a marketing perspective, it's quite difficult to market that. And I personally think they're waiting for all of these amazing creations to come out so that they've got more content to market it with. I mean, there's already plenty of content there, but I don't know. Look, it's a difficult subject, really.
Look, it's not difficult. You're tickling my tits right now. I don't have time for these excuses, personally. Like, let me tell you a story, okay? And I promise to make it quick because I want more of Magma's questions. I had a friend who lived and breathed gaming. This man would go to the store, get like a 10-pound bag of rice and some like tilapia so that he could eat for the next 3 months while he bought all the games he wanted. Okay? So he's a gamer through and through. It's because of him that I don't even consider myself a gamer. Okay, that's how much of a gamer he was. You know, like it's insane. Okay, so this guy goes and he gets a job with IGN, and he his only responsibility is that he can write. He has to write basically a 500-word article once a month. And for that, he gets hundreds of dollars. His topic, they gave him no chains. His topic was write about gaming. Anything you want about gaming. Anything. That was his job. He didn't do that job. He willingly quit. Because he said it was too much. He had too many options. And this is something that's become a constant conversation because of our new streaming services and things like that. How people are frozen by having too many options. I say you don't know what you want. Because I'm going to tell you like this, and why I take such umbrage with the fact that Jenny's saying it's too much to market. It's not. You can market it as the thing that does everything. Because it literally, if you are creative, there is no reason that you don't want it. There's no reason that your children don't want it. There's no reason that anyone who likes to dabble in being creative, or hell, hey, do you want something that puts out never-ending games for $10?
Yeah.
It's all marketable. Nobody says you have to appeal to one specific thing. But you can appeal to everything. The fact that people don't know. I have another friend. I have another friend who has played Little Big Planet. She played one and played 3 with her children. She loves Media Molecule. Had no idea Dreams had come out. That's unacceptable.
Yeah.
That is unacceptable. And therefore, I will forever die on the hill of they're doing it wrong. Okay? Because if your own people don't know, then something's wrong. And I do blame Sony, because Media Molecule is doing the best they can. They are not as big as a lot of us act like they are. And they're just pulling rabbits out of hats left and right, as they've always done. But yeah, this is completely a failure of marketing. And the moment they decide to fix this issue, Dreams is going to become the biggest game in the market.
And
but they gotta fix it.
And I think they will fix it when they believe, and by they I mean Sony, when they believe there is enough content to justify the marketing. Because, you know, when you're looking at people that are just coming in to play games, there has to be enough stuff there to justify, you know, what you're saying. And yes, there is plenty of content there, but you are going to get the drawback of people that are going to come on and say, oh, well, this doesn't look right, or this was only 10 minutes long, this was only 5 minutes long, there's not enough stuff to keep me going. And, you know, I think I think they're just waiting for a massive breach of content to drop on Dreams and then say, right, okay, there is enough stuff now, go with the plan.
I think so my take on it is like that. Oh, no, I thought my picture is frozen. Sorry. I think they try to go this way with the influencer marketing. So they're focusing more on dreamers itself who stream the game, and I think that's their marketing plan, and that's what I think. But I have to say that could be done more, actually. I'm on your side, actually, on this. You know, it's still way too less they do for Dreams. Like you could market it to gamers first and then to other groups. You don't have to market it to everyone at first. You can go through them by, you know.
I agree, but I don't even think you should market it at gamers first. Personally, I think you should market it towards education.
I think, okay. I think you should do both, actually.
Yeah. Oh no, you should do it all. But if you're going to take this like we can only do one at a time thing, for some reason, which I've already stated I don't agree with, and I'm sorry people that are watching this have had to smell my eyes for like the last couple of moments while people are talking. But like, yeah, it just I do agree with Jamie that because it's the only thing that makes sense. Like the only reason I can think of that it could be handled the way it's being handled is if we're still in the beta. If we're still in the beta and we're just all building, we're just all doing everything and pushing forward, and then they'll be like, hey, but check what these guys what they've done with it. I could see that. But I've started, and this is why the unofficial and of Dreams, the unofficial ambassador of Dreams, is that basically I just think of all the missed opportunity, and it just it really it really just gargles my areolas. Like I cannot get out of like just for instance, they've won tons of awards. Like, well, they've won awards for with different things, but like the fact that I didn't see Dreams in like that, and I know this is kind of going back on what we talked about earlier, but the fact that Dreams wasn't in the Game Awards kind of hurt me a little bit. But I don't think it was in the end. Now that I've had time to settle down a little bit, in the end, I don't think it's because Dreams didn't win, but it's because it didn't have some sort of part in it. Like they were showing off like tons of stuff, and I'm just like, Dreams should have been in there somewhere. I feel like that's a missed opportunity. And like even people on IGN, like Jonathan Dornbush, he says that there's like a person that's in IGN who never shuts up about Dreams. Like he's like me. They have a me in the IGN office.
Oh no, no, we can't take that.
And guys, I do see it. I will get back to it. Also, welcome Gizmo. But yeah, like it just feels like through all the stuff we see, I want it to succeed. All of it comes from love. All my complaints, all my disagreements, where's your marketing team? It all comes from love of the game and wanting to see it grow.
Yeah.
And while we may still be in the beta and trying to and basically building up so we can blow the minds of everyone who didn't pay attention at first, because they will pay attention. They will. Okay.
But
they're going to make
just a matter of time.
Yeah. Just a matter of time. But it's just, there's so many things where I'm like, I feel like that, like this was the opportunity to just bring in a few more. Just a few more.
I think it's a whole trust the process situation.
Yeah.
That's how I feel it is. I feel they've definitely got a plan for it. It's just that there's two things to consider. I mean, look at Little Big Planet 2, for instance. When that came out, they had the whole 1 million user-generated creations made in Little Big Planet 1. They had that to back up Little Big Planet 2 because they had all of the people that's made stuff in that game to then use that as clout for the second one. And I feel that they're going to be doing the same thing for Dreams, not necessarily Dreams 2, but like, all this stuff's going to come out and they'll be able to say like, X amount of games made in Dreams, X amount of albums made in Dreams, X amount of films made in Dreams. And then when people that don't know what Dreams is see that, they're going to be like, oh my God, there's so much content on here. And I think they're going to use that to their advantage. But you also have the other end of the spectrum, which is the majority of people who don't know what Dreams is are going to be expecting a certain level of fidelity with the creations, because that's just what we've come to expect as gamers. We are spoilt these days with highly polished, beautiful games, whether that be AAA, indie games, it doesn't matter. They're all super polished and they look really nice and they have tight controls and decent mechanics and everything works the way it should do. So as gamers, for the gaming part of it at least, we've come to expect a certain level with things. And when you come to Dreams, you're not necessarily going to get that yet because we're all still learning how to use it. But once it comes to the point that all of this highly polished, highly tightened mechanics, all of this stuff is in Dreams, which there is some right now, but not enough for a marketing perspective, then they can go ahead and do it because they have the stuff there to back up their claims.
Well, before we get too far, I want to say that I agree with that in a way, but one thing that has me iffy with your breakdown is what happens when those people see all that mind-blowing stuff and then they get in and they can't make it immediately. And see, that's what comes, that's because that's happened to people already. People see all these great creations and then they come in and they're like, I want to do that. And the time that they could have been developing
10 years on that.
the time that person developed their craft to be able to make that. Now you gotta start from wherever you are. Hopefully you have a background in something, but if you don't, you can still do it. You can still do it, but it's gonna be a trek. And I think that's why you see people getting disheartened with certain things, like the people that we know. I mean, you can read some people's messages in things, especially this I'll get back to that. I wanted to read Gizmo's message. She said there's an interview in Push Square with Siobhan Reddy, and she addressed the marketing question really well. She said that it was the opposite of LBP and that they had to market to creators first and they will market to players next.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to look up that interview. I don't know.
Because that's the thing, like, when Dreams first come out, how can you market to players when there's nothing to play?
True. That's actually not bad. That's actually smart.
No, it's a smart way to do it. Build up your player base, concentrate on the creators because that's who you need.
Yeah.
Once all the creators have learnt the tools from, like we've always said, we're still in the beta. Once all the games is out there, people have built the skills, we have a community, then we can concentrate on the players. That has to be content for players to play.
See, Falcarich, that's what I was getting to, because I saw this conversation. I visit Facebook once a week. And I saw this person who was having, I want to say it was a conversation, but it was more like he was punishing Tap Giles for trying to help him. And it infuriated me so much that my time on Facebook this week was 10 minutes. Was 10 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Right,
I straight up scrolled, saw it, started to read through it, and I was like, nope, I gotta get offline. I can't take it. I'm gonna say something.
Can you go into a bit more detail? Because I have not seen this.
Okay, it goes into what Falco brought up and so many just flat out think they can't create without, or that they can create without trying. Okay. And this guy was talking about all the shortcomings of Dreams. And he didn't even start the thread, but the person who started the thread was like, does anyone ever just like leave Dreams for a while and then like come back to it? And I'm trying, Mikey. I'm trying. People keep sending me stuff. And so I pick it all up on one day. I don't even read all of it. And then I get off Facebook. But basically this guy came in and was talking about how basically Dreams doesn't do everything for him. Like we've talked about this on here before, where his problem was he's a level designer, and he wants to be able to have, like, he wants Media Molecule to basically make a puppet a more advanced puppet with pre-baked in things specifically to what he wants.
But you can do that yourself.
And Tap was like, well, these things you want, here's a puppet. He gave him a puppet and was like, yeah, like this puppet has almost everything you asked for. But it wasn't made by MM. It was made by the community. That's the power of the community, you know. And he's like, some things you just have to build yourself, because if you want it to be a certain way and you don't want it to be a generic thing, you have to make it. And this guy was like, no, it should be given to me. Like and Tap was trying to help him, but he was like, yeah, I just saw that you were nominated for most helpful, but you're not helpful at all. Blah, 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 blah. I was like, I got to get off Facebook. Okay, let me see what Pixel Gorilla. Here's the thing. Even if you could snap your fingers and make anything, coming up with something good will still be crazy hard. Facts. See, anybody who has a brain good, like, sees what, like, all the problems that I see in the game, as far as the problems I have with the game, I know it's because I don't have the ability to do that yet. But if I want to, I have to learn to do it. And people are just like, no, I want you to make my main character for me because I can't sculpt. And the kid was like, I can't. The kid was like, I can't sculpt, and it's not my strong suit. I do level design, and I'm like, either you gotta learn
get
to
a sculptor.
You gotta get it.
Remix stuff. Use stuff from the community. That's why I make my collections. Actually, please use the stuff.
That's why stuff's remixable, and that's why people like Magma make collections. So
don't be afraid to use community assets. You know.
That's what I'm saying.
There's nothing wrong with the tools. It's all down to the person.
Yeah, and Tap tried to say it like, hey, if that's not your strong suit, just go and, find somebody who makes characters and work with them to make the character. And he just wasn't accepting anything other than they aren't giving me exactly what I want, therefore game trash. And I was so heated. I was just like, I don't want to put my energy, and God bless Tap for trying to work with this dude, because I was gonna come in on some straight raw shit. Just be like, dude, you know what? Bye. You need to go ahead and get out of Dreams, bro. Go.
Does he know that Dreams is a creational tool, and the goal of Dreams is to create, right? Yeah. Like that's the whole point. And like, if you're not that good at it, then collab with people. Again, massive part of Dreams is collaboration. Like,
and don't set your goals so high. I mean, you don't need to make a AAA game. You can make a simple, silly game for you and your friends. Don't aim for like the next big thing. It's it's just do that what you can do best. Why is everyone trying to
That's the thing. I mean,
why is everybody trying to be Kevin Costner like me? That's right.
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna make the next Skyrim. It's like, no.
Small baby $300
They will do World of Warcraft in Dreams. It will be it will be huge. I don't know. We should focus more on the fun stuff, not on being the best. Just having fun.
Tap must have a patience made out of gold. Seriously, because I would have kicked off so bad. I'm so glad I didn't see that, because I would have had to have reacted. I really would have, and I'm so glad I haven't seen that.
See, but that's the trap of Facebook. No matter where you go, someone's going to try to say that one thing that's like, that'll make them type back, and then you're stuck, and then you're stuck. You can't get out. So.
The audacity, though, to say, oh, well, you're not very helpful. Like, have you seen the amount of videos Tap has made? It's become his life. It it is his lifeblood. Like, he has literally dedicated his life to teaching people dreams, and you're saying he's not helpful.
Insane. It's insane.
Yes.
But to be fair, this guy doesn't know what Deb did already for the community.
Oh
so
my god, it's just like he's like the lifeblood of some people's creations. Like, so many things would not exist without Tap's help, and he's like, you're not helpful.
Yeah, you're not helpful. Be like, bruh.
Oh, dude,
yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
And I mean, another problem I've seen with a lot of dreamers who came new to the community is the lack of recognition of their work. Everyone is complaining why no one sees the stuff I make, or but it's use the internet, share your stuff on Twitter, share your stuff on other platforms, on Reddit or whatever, stream your work, do that. It's, you will get your recognition. You don't have any likes, not because your work is bad, it's because no one knows about your work, and you have to do the marketing by yourself. It's hard, but you have to do that.
There are so many good creations on Dreams as well that just get missed.
Yeah.
Like, I was speaking about this with someone the other day. Like, there is so many awesome creations on Dreams that go completely missed. And, you have to show people your stuff. You can't just release it onto the Dreamiverse and expect everyone to find it. I mean, although we are a small community, there's thousands and thousands of creations, and so many people are uploading new stuff every day. It's going to get lost unless you show people what you do. And it's such a shame because, like, there's so many creations that I've seen that are absolutely amazing and have like 15 likes. And it's like, this is a crime. Like, everybody needs to see this. So I share it and do my part to try and get people to see it. But if you as the creator yourself don't put any effort into to try and get people to see it, then don't get angry when, you've still got 15 likes on it.
Definitely.
Totally.
Definitely. And, funny we brought this up about sharing your work. Can I share my work yet, Jamie? Can I share my? Oh, I forgot.
Sorry, I choked on my words a little there.
I can't. I want to share. I want to share with people.
There is a time and place for sharing, and unfortunately, it's not right now.
But alas, I signed up for it. Don't feel bad for me. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that back.
That was good.
Because for the people, I just like I said last week, for the people that saw what I originally put out in Dreams, I'm just really excited.
Oh yeah,
for where I've gotten, and just my personal advancement in it is something that I'm really proud of. So at some point you'll see. You'll see. You'll see. And even if you don't, and know that I don't care what you think about it. I just know that I am happy about what I've done.
But yeah, I mean, Mighty's stuff that he's been working on for Dino, like, his skill level has gone from like 1% to 100%. Like, it has changed so much. And honestly, his style and the way that he creates is so much better now. And I'm not buttering you up. I really do mean that. It is absolutely fantastic to see.
No. Feel free to butter, baby.
But no, it is though. It's amazing to see the progression you made, because, like, we talk every day. We're working on this project. It's amazing to see, the evolution of someone's progress, and Mighty has progressed dramatically, and I am very excited for when we are ready to show you what he has done, along with the rest of the team. It's amazing.
I can't wait. Actually, I can't wait.
It is exciting, but
now that I have a whole stick of butter just melted between these cheeks for extra rotation, we can move on. But yeah, I agree with Wargarble. He says getting likes can't be the end goal, though, in the same way the impy shouldn't be the end goal. And he said something else here. Yeah, even if you get no likes, keep doing it as long as you like it. And
end goal is always your happiness. To be honest, it's always your happiness. If you're not happy, it's you always try to go set the goal that you're happy, you know. It's always that.
And I mean, I've gotten to the point where, like, sometimes there's always a problem with that artists seem to have, where we don't like really sharing our stuff.
True.
Like a lot of people don't want to share because they, you know, they're critical of their work, but it's where that term, like, the best to never do it, which I heard a lot growing up, which is like the best to never do it. Like, you know, whenever someone complains about a movie or something, like, I could have written it better. It's like, hey, you working on anything? And it'll be like, yeah. Can I read it? No. It's all right. I mean, you know, but I feel like a lot of people do suffer from that, and honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I've suffered with it a lot, and Dreams helped me get over that, because, you know, Dreams was the first time that I was able to ever work truly in animation or in sculpting or just in a 3D platform. Like, because everything else was just, it was too much. Like, I already told y'all I don't have time. Well, I definitely don't have time to learn a lot of these other programs. You just can't pick up and go. And, you know, but like, the first thing I did, even though it wasn't even up to my quality, I liked that I was able to do it and just get it out. And it's like, for all of its problems, for all of the things that went wrong, like, Dreams gave me that ability to just put it out and just be like,
just release your stuff and start new. If you don't like something you made, just put it out there and try to do it better next time, maybe. That's the same thing.
I'm laughing at Wineland, who said you can only get booty butter by sharing.
No, but it's like, how can you expect to get better if you don't show people your work for them to criticize? You know, you need to show people what you've done so that you can learn from it. You know, if you post something and Tap Giles comes on and says, you know, what you did is great, but if you did this, this, and this, it would make this better.
I know it's not easy at all. I mean, the Plastic Dreamer also took me almost a year. You know, I'm still suffering from that in some kind of way.
Suffering, God,
suffering.
Okay, not really suffering. But, I mean, it's still on my mind. Like, you know, it's still not easy.
I mean, especially if you're working on something solo. Like, for us with Dino, you know, we're working in a team, and, you know, plenty of the members in our team is very, very good at what they do. So, you know, we just share stuff with each other internally because we have the ability to do that, thankfully, because there's so many of us working on the project. But if you're working solo on something, you know, it's absolutely detrimental, in my opinion, to share your stuff, to be able to get the feedback you need. And I've had first-hand experience with this with my novel that I've been writing and completely forgot about since Dino started because I don't have the time anymore. But I used to release my chapters chapter by chapter. So I would upload a chapter and release it publicly, and then next week I'd upload another chapter, and as I went along uploading these chapters each week, you know, I got comments from people saying this was good, but, you know, this didn't really work, and oh, this was great, you know, keep going with that. And I've never written a book before, you know, it's my first novel that I've been writing, and the comments along the way have shaped me into a better writer, because there is experts out there that are reading it and saying, you know, oh, well, this is wrong. And that's okay. You know, it's the first time I've done it. I don't expect to be, you know, the next whatever, you know, I've never done it before. So I expect things to go wrong. And as a creator of anything, you should expect things to go wrong. And now I feel like
you know,
I feel like I'm a much better writer now because of the criticism that I've received. And, you know, even though I've completely dropped the book and haven't gone back to it, but still, the point still remains.
I mean, yeah, you learn something, I guess. You know, it's always
the thing.
Yeah, it's always important to share and to get feedback on stuff.
And when
that's the way to grow.
when I do get 2 minutes back to myself, I do intend to go back and finish it. But you know, too many projects at once.
Yeah, I also have a lot of projects in dreams. I should actually finish at some point. It's good to have that. I think to explore all things.
It's all part of the learning process.
Yeah, failing is part of the process, as Wargarble just put in. I mean, honestly, the reason I brought up that first thing that I put out was because now I'm just like, oh man, I think I can get closer to what I wanted now. So to go back and do it again. I've already started, just not very quickly, because I don't do anything quickly these days anymore. But yeah. So is there anything else that we'd like to put out there to the people? Because if not, I think it might be time for us to call it for the day.
Yeah. Stay positive, stay creative, and keep dreaming.
Couldn't have put it any better myself.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining us for this 7th episode with MagmaMonsta, who has come to enlighten us all, aka. You have any extra names? Do you have
AKA M to the monster? I don't know.
M to the monster.
I was thinking you could have like alternate, like a channel per alternate nickname. Like, I was thinking, what if you were like Papi Pyro or like Thick Flame with 3 C's? Maybe?
Mag. I don't know.
Zaddy Moulton. That's it.
Months? I don't know. Yeah.
Magmon.
I think we should.
Magmon.
It's like a Pokemon.
Yeah.
I'm personally.
Now the thing is what type would you be?
What type?
Fire type, fire. Ghost type. What type?
I think fire. Magma, fire. I don't know.
I don't know. I judging by your logo, I would say you'd be a ghost type.
Okay. Okay. And by my pale skin, maybe.
Well, on that note, Papi Pyro's checking out today. So Papi. So let's we'll go ahead and end it for today. Well, we'll catch you again next week during our normal time. And yeah, we got to find us a guest. We have a few people in the just
a few
maybe you should put on an Impy winner next. To see the other side of a winner, actually, not a nominee here.
Not a loser.
Not a loser. Not someone that wasn't good enough.
And Pixel Gorilla, literally all that happens is either we go out and we find people, or someone asks us. Like, all it takes is to say, "Hey, I want to be on the show." That's all. That's
all it takes.
I mean, you have a name that you have weight that comes with you, but I mean, I've told people multiple times, like, I don't care if no one knows who you are. If you watch the show and you think that you would like to talk about dreams with us, just hit us up. That's all it takes.
I don't want to say we have the top dreamers on the show. We do have dreamers on the show that are very well known, and we have them on for a reason, because they have experience, so it makes for good conversation. But I don't care if you haven't even made anything in dreams yet. If you're passionate about dreams and you have the ability to talk about it, we want to hear from you. It's not about all the big dreamers. Anybody and everybody, as long as it's dreams related, you're more than welcome.
And I think that's how the dreams community is. Mostly, I think.
Yeah.
Like, everyone is accepted and everyone is allowed to be here.
Yeah. It's open to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, thanks for having me on today. It was a unique new experience to me.
Absolute pleasure.
Something weird at some parts.
That's the way we do it.
Yeah, it wouldn't be our show if it didn't have weird parts.
Yeah, it was fun actually. It was fun, and the chat
Good.
was
I'm glad
great.
you enjoyed it.
Indeed.
I need to rewatch the stream actually to read all his chat later on.
Yeah,
Sorry.
there's a lot of chat that's been going through, and thank you for sticking with us, because I know I missed a lot during this episode while talking, but that's why I also go back and watch them after we're done. It's not just to hear myself talk, but I promise.
We're not trying to make the VOD views go up by ourselves. It's purely just for the chat purposes.
Yeah. Which, by the way, it is crazy how
I know, right?
Like the VOD views. Like, it's I've been very honored. That's all I'll say on the matter.
And also our audio version, on Spotify and all the other podcast services, our numbers are really good on there too. It's really humbling and awesome to see that people actually are interested in the show, off of the stream, when we upload it onto YouTube and onto Spotify and things, we get loads of people watching it and listening to it, and it's fantastic. We love it because that's what we do it for, is for everyone to just talk about dreams and listen, and it's really nice. Really nice.
Oh, most of you listen on Spotify. We got Spotify.
Hey!
So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and raid the sauceless one. And
nice. Sauceless is great.
Making some tunes.
Yes. It's something I need to do now. That guys, I gotta show you. Hold on.
Oh.
Do you see her? Do you see her? Yeah.
Hey!
Yeah.
I should have in my background, actually.
Yes.
For the audio listeners, he was showing a PS5.
Yes. I had a friend from college. For real, this thing is bigger than my main monitor, and it's over half the height of my TV. This thing is gigantic.
It is. It is massive.
But first of all, Talc, I will never stop bitching ever. But no, I had a friend from college who I got into Dreams. So this is something else Dreams has given me. I had a friend from college, and I got him into Dreams, and he hit me up 3 days ago and was like, "Hey, I have an extra PlayStation 5. Do you want it?"
That's crazy.
And I was like, "Yes, I do," because I've given up. I've given up. I've given up trying to get it for myself. So yes, I would definitely love it, because
That's awesome.
Week 1 PlayStation 4 sounds like it's going to explode whenever I try to do anything. It's been kind of freaking me out, but yes. So now I have a PS5, and I couldn't be happier. It's the first thing to go absolutely right.
I can't wait to get mine.
Now.
3 years or so.
In 3 years. Hey, at least you'll have the slim version by then. Jesus. Like, I swear, whenever they come out with their slim version of this, it's gonna be like half the size. And
I mean, except the slim version is also delayed, and you get that in 6 years or so.
I mean, I don't even know why I bothered getting a PS5, because all I've literally used on the PS5 since I got it in, when did I get it? In November, is Dreams.
I will actually buy it just for Dreams, to be honest.
I've literally just been playing Dreams of it, but it's the speed alone is worth it. I mean, Dreams is already quick. I mean, Dreams is super quick, but with the PS5, it's even quicker. It's just crazy.
Oh, Gizmo, you said you're waiting for the black slim version? Yeah, I mean, if you've been watching the stuff on D-Brand lately, they're basically daring Sony to sue them because they made the black plates to replace the white ones on the PS5. So you can get like a matte black PlayStation 5 now just by buying the plates.
And when he says they are daring, they literally are. They've literally wrote a post to say, we dare them to try and come at us for making this. It's crazy.
Yeah, on the website, it says, sue us.
It's mental.
It's pretty crazy. But yeah, with that, let's go ahead and
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and raid Sauceless One. Thank you again for joining us, and
thank you,
I hope
everybody.
you enjoyed
Thank you
it.
for having me. And yeah, it was great.
Thank you. See you next week.